In this demonstration, we're going to look at how to set up your virtual studio or your image planes in Maya. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have our correct orthographic view, and I'm going to install my top view first. So I'll go to top view and go to view up in the upper left hand corner and select on image plane, import image. I'm going to select my top view of my rigid model, and there we have our first image plane in place. So as I go back to perspective view, F on my keyboard to find, you can see then that I have my first image plane in there, and you can also see the camera that is viewing that. Okay, so the next one is the front view, and I will be going and doing the same thing: view, image plane, import image. This will be the front view. Alright, I have that one in place. Space bar, click with the left mouse key, side view, lift space bar, and I have the side view here. I'll get my image plane set up. Alright, and then the last one, I'll go ahead and finish this out and come back when it's complete. We'll go on to the next step. Alright, so as I go to the perspective view, you can see that I have all my different image planes in place. You can see the cameras associated with those. But the problem is that they're all different sizes and in different locations. So that's the first thing that we want to correct, is making sure that everything is accurately scaled. So I'm going to select on my top-down view, so first of all go over to my channel box here, and if I go to inputs, well, I have my image plane selected. You can see right down here that it's not centered, so we'll go ahead and center it, and we will go ahead and use a value of 100 and 100, nice round number. Alright, and we'll go ahead and apply these same values to every image plane. So as I select on that, go to inputs, that one has not been moved, it's at 0, 0, 0 in the center of the world, and we will go ahead and change these values to 100 as well. And lastly, inputs on image 3, that also has not been moved, 100. So you can see that the values now, the scale of these objects is the same as one another. Now some people like to change the opacity on these and leave them in the center to work from, but that gets a little crowded feeling for me. So what I like to do is select on those image planes and offset them. Now if I go to the same location we were, and I select on center X, then I can move those back just a little bit out of the way so that I don't have to feel like I'm trying to model on top of those. What's that look like? Okay. That might give us some room to work there, so I'll go ahead and apply that same value to each one of these image planes, and we will, in the next segment, I'll show you how to add a camera and an additional image plane if 3 is not enough. This one will be moving in the y-axis, rate of 100, and if we select on this camera, we'll be moving that in the z axis. Alright, so alright, now we have beginnings of a studio here. Okay, so in this demonstration we're going to create a new camera with a new image plane associated with that. is we just have 3 available. If you look in Panels, Orthographic, you can see the front, side, and top are available, but there's nothing else. There's nothing for back. And we want to also be able to see an image plane for the back. So I'm going to create a new front panel. And what that gives me is a new, you can see here that what's highlighted is a new camera associated with that. If I go over here to Input, let's rotate this around 180 degrees. And then we're going to move that, going to move it back so it's back behind this image plane. Oops. So if you move that so that it's in front of that image plane like this, then that's what you're going to see when you go to that camera. So this would be our new camera, and that's, you can see that's what you would see. Alright, so what we'll do first is go to our outliner, show cameras, whoops, we'll just rename this back. Alright, so that's our back view. And then what we're going to do is select on our image plane, and what we'll do is offset that just a little bit more. Okay, so that it's behind there and you won't see that any longer. You're only going to see what's in front of it. So then what we're going to do is go ahead and select your new camera, and let's go there. Oops, won't be able to get there that way. Orthographic back, okay, and then we will do the same thing that we did before, view, image plane, import image, back, and then you'll be able to see that in there. Okay, then we'll want to go ahead and do the same thing that we did before for the other ones and make sure that that's scaled the same way. So go ahead and select on that object again. Down here we will scale those to 10, and let's pull that in a little bit more closer. So our camera's not going to get in the way of that. Alright, so now we have all 4 of our image planes. Okay, so then you want to make sure that your front view or your front camera is also in front of the other image plane. Oops. So that's what we want, is to be able to see the from the back camera, we want to be able to see the back of the image. From the front camera, we want to see the front of the image. Side camera, the side image, and so on. From the top view, we want the top camera. So when you go to that orthographic view, then you'll be able to see your image planes. Alright, so another way to set up your image planes would be to simply create some geometry. So in this case I'll select create polygon primitives, cube, and I'll put a cube out there holding the shift key down. That'll give me scaled properly. And then I just can go in here and select faces and delete those, and then within, actually I want to go ahead and select those, window, let's see, attribute editor, down here under render stats, you'll want to turn off double-sided. And so you can see through that now, but it's going the opposite direction of what you need it to. So under normals, you can say reverse normals. And so very quickly you have your 4 image planes. You can break this apart and map each of your images to the inside of this box, and then you can see through that to the other face, and have basically the same setup as your image planes. You'll need to make sure that your cameras, you create your new cameras so you can set up your back view if you need that. And same goes for top view. So that will get you started creating your virtual studio so that you can get to modeling.